Hi, everybody. Welcome to Stonetop here on the Happy Jacks RPG Network. I closed the tab that has the thing I'm supposed to say at the start of every episode because I wanted to just be very focused on y'all. But I'm going to vamp for time while I go to open it. Stonetop is a RPG based in sort of a dungeon world hack, but it is very much about the lives of the people in this little town called Stonetop, out on the edges of civilization. And guess what? I'm almost opened. It's going to be wonderful. You're going to just love what's about to happen. Is just like going to fill you with joy. Actually, I'm going to have y'all introduce yourselves because my computer is very slow. Nick, why don't we start with you? Tell us who you are and who you're playing.
Sure. My name is Nick Levy, and I am playing Braun Go-Between, who is a traitor and a bit of a rogue, and sort of the prodigal son who has returned to Stonetop to try and bring it kicking and screaming into the century of the fruit bat.
Cool. How about you, Mac?
Hey guys, I'm Mac. I am playing Ilsa, the would-be hero that is maybe going to have a chance at being some kind of hero. We'll see.
Mo?
Hi, I'm Mo. I'm playing Carlo,
See.
the Marshal.
Mo?
And
Hi, I'm Mo. I'm playing
band
Carlo.
of misbegotten children.
And finally, Blythe.
Misbegotten
I know
children.
it's not what the word means, but
And
misbegotten. I
finally,
just
Blythe.
imagined you just
Misbegotten.
picking up random children that you just got randomly, and it was very funny in my head.
I got them randomly.
You're one of mine now. Get in the band.
It's like,
No, it's the other way around.
hi, I am Blythe. I am playing Tiern. I almost forgot my character's name. We're off to a great start. I'm playing Tiern, and I am very excited to see if her strange and esoteric knowledge comes into handy today.
Yay. Okay. So this is the second session of our RPG. To catch up on past episodes, visit happyjacks.org slash Stonetop. That's the name of the game. I know what I'm doing. To find all the other shows on the Happy Jacks Network, visit happyjacks.org slash shows. I am their GM. To find all the other shows on the Happy Jacks Network, and I am going to be taking you through the games tonight. And I'm playing everybody who's not myself. I am going to be taking you through the games. I'm hearing myself, and it's very annoying. I am going
Is
to
it still happening?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. It went away. I was hearing myself like 10 seconds ago, and it was the worst.
Oh, it's okay. That was me accidentally. I don't know
Okay.
why, but somehow you were getting the audio that is coming to my headphones through my mic.
Okay. Oh, wonderful. Perfect. So I do want to ask y'all if anybody wants to do a recap of the last session's events. I will give you 2 free re-rolls for doing so because I can't think of a better reward. But if somebody wants to do a recap of last session's events, there's a prize on the table.
Not it.
Okay, when last we left our heroes, we had a horse that went missing. And
Just a horse.
the horse was what first brought our attention to the fact that 2 young ladies had also gone missing into the woods. We followed them into the woods and realized there was magic afoot and possibly fairies.
Possibly.
Possibly.
The name of the student who's missing is Anouk, who is a good friend of Tiern. Well, friend is the wrong word, but Tiern has taken Anouk under her wing. And I believe Dolores was the name of the town ne'er-do-well who she ran off with.
That's what I have in my notes.
That's what I have in my notes, too.
Well, it must
What
be true.
Coincidence. It must be true.
I found those names.
Thank you very much, Mo. Take your 2 free re-rolls for when you need them. Where we left, Braun had skittered across the gorge into the forest across a ladder that then, of course, fell down into the river far below, stranding everyone on the other side. So you were all heading back toward town to gather stuff while Braun was going to wander around in the woods by himself.
I think what. Sorry, go ahead, Boy.
We forgot the most important character of last session, which was Lyra, the talkative.
Oh yes, thank you.
Talkative student.
Yes, Lyra, who is Lyra and oh gosh, the old Marshall follower who then took over the classroom, just telling stories about blood and spiders. Yeah. So
also, Ilsa was actually headed to meet up with Braun. She wasn't heading back to town.
Okay.
Because she took some equipment with her when she was already heading out on the horse.
Okay. All right. Cool. I am going. I believe what we had decided was you can gear up with Carlo's men will run ahead and gather anything so you can like get stuff at the ford before you go over. Yeah. So it's you're going to be meeting your stuff there. There is a sheet called gear that we're going to look at in just a second here. Some of you have already told me what you're bringing. Some of you haven't. I want to get a sense. I want you to tell the people what you're bringing. But before we do that, the three of you who are not stranded in the woods, please roll me a straight wisdom check.
We've already determined that I'm not wise. Smart, but not wise.
And I think
8.
8, okay.
oh, also 8.
11.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to say that those of you, maybe you're going to compare notes. So, but those of you who have an 8 are like suspicious as to how one of the ladders, which is from the guard tower, could have made it all the way to the gorge with just 2 girls and a horse. And I will say that Ilsa, you notice that as you're riding back, you sort of notice that there's like a sledge where the ladder was being dragged along like in the mud, but also it looks like there may be other footprints beside that. So you're headed back. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick talk about what you have along with you. There is a sheet in this game which gives you sort of a sense of what gear you can bring, how heavy it is to carry. It's all very accurately simulated, but we are just going on ahead and we're going to have a great time. Braun, please tell me what you have since you can't gather more stuff. What do you just sort of have on your person as you're in the woods?
Excellent. What I have, we discussed that I would have what's called a light load, meaning that I could only select 3 items worth of equipment, based on the fact that I didn't gear up for this before I left. And thinking about what he was thinking he was going to do, which was work in the fields this morning, his light load is a cloak, a dagger, which he would have with him almost always, a mess kit for having lunch out in the fields today. And then there are a couple of other things that he would have that are called pocket items, meaning that they don't take up a lot of space or count as against your light load. And those were things, in this case, a set of work gloves, a little bit of chalk, a piece of twine that he uses to measure things. It's tied off in knots in intervals. And also a small skin of wine because it goes well in the afternoon after you've been working all day. One last bit of gear that I do have through an ability of my character is I have several throwing knives which are on various parts of my body. As the ability called All in the Wrist. And they don't count against my load, and it's sort of a nebulous number. It's however many the plot determines I need.
Mm-hmm. I should say this game is in playtesting, so this is to the audience, not necessarily you folks. Like this element of the game has undergone a lot of changes. I am kind of playing a hybrid of different sets of them to sort of see what works for me. But it is increasingly like moving toward an apocalypse world style thing where who's the one in that who can just have what they need? Is it the savvy? I think so. Could just like have whatever they want. It's sort of moving toward that. But of the rest of you, do you have a sense of like what you might have along with you? And what, like, you know, give me a sense of like how you feel about, you know, these items. So if any of you are like ready to sort of discuss these things and why you have them, that would be great. I can reshare the link as well. I'll put it in the chat. So basically, one of the ideas of this is that of this version of it is that you can carry a certain number of things to a certain weight, and it wears you down, and it gives you more load. And the more stuff you have, the harder it is. And also, there are certain things that are just too expensive that the town probably would not have, or you'd have to like requisition it from the townspeople, but you can't requisition because you're not going back to town. You're just running ahead into the woods. So we'll worry about that the next time. But yeah.
Into the woods we have to go. Don't take too much or you'll be slow.
Go ahead.
Oh, just something I was wondering is, could I potentially make an argument like there's some exotic, like Bendis root and Bazors, and I feel like that's something my character would have. Like,
yep.
Bazors.
Yep. You can argue whatever, you know, because as long as you think you'd reasonably have it, we're just going to say that Carlos people are just that good at finding stuff in your house. And like, maybe we should be concerned about that, but not right now. We're not going to be. So I'm just going to say, if you have it somewhere, Carlos men will find it and bring it to you.
Yeah, right now I'm like, I feel like Lantern, she's going to grab some Bazors in case someone eats something they shouldn't have eaten.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to, and then I feel like it's going to be mostly like small tools for her. Like she's going to have like some writing. Well, I think as my class, as the seeker, I always have like writing equipment on me.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Yeah. Are you going to bring your Arcana? I can never remember the name of it.
Oh yes, I'm wearing that.
Okay, that's what I thought. Tell the folks a little bit more about that and what it does, since we're bringing it up this early.
Well, I have my major arcana with me. I'm not gonna worry about my minor arcana.
Yeah, don't worry about those.
Naruba's ice sphere. It allows me to like look into it and ask questions of it. Basically, I picture it like a small version of the crystal ball from Lord of the Rings that Saruman looks into.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all like kind of weirdly foggy and like blue and icy looking. But it's like a small version that kind of goes on like a bracelet, so she can wear it and easily carry it around.
Okay.
Which is kind of how it's pictured here. It's got like a bracelet attached to it, and then it's like a sphere on top.
Does it have on your sheet, does it have a little diamond to say how heavy it is? If it would be 1 or 2 diamonds.
It is 1.
Okay, so yeah, since you're wearing it, it's probably fine. Are you bringing anything like in terms of weapons? You don't have to. You're just going into the woods.
Later, but
What
I'm
could
gonna
possibly
say
go wrong?
I'm gonna say for her, she has a longbow. She
Okay.
strikes me as someone who knows how to use a sword.
Okay.
But
All
she
right.
has a bow in case she's traveled before.
Okay. Cool. I'm gonna say you have 8 arrows, which you can probably retrieve. You know, we'll be fine. Things will be great. Cool. All right. Mo or Mac, do you have a sense of what you've brought along?
Yeah. So I had a blacksmithing gown or apron. Why would I say gown? And the blacksmithing tools, a cape, and a loaf of bread, and that's pretty much what she's charging ahead with currently.
Okay, cool. So you don't feel like you need anything else. I think you're fine myself, but also I would say that, wouldn't I?
Yeah, I get the feeling she's so excited and just wants to live that role for once.
Okay, cool. And Carlo, go ahead, Nick.
Oh, I was just gonna say, as someone who has done some blacksmithing, a blacksmith's hammer is a pretty good weapon.
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to say that that's fairly similar to the Warhammer in the weapons of war thing, just so I don't have to like figure out exact stats for it. But yeah, it's yeah. So
Perfect.
Carlo, do you have a sense of what you're bringing along?
Carlo had his bag brought for him, so he's a little kitted out. He has 2 portions of food, a cloak, chalk, salt, socks, charcoal, water skin, 25 feet of rope, his Churigon's tools, and his iron sword.
Cool. All right. I am going to ask. Okay, you have the horse, correct?
We're riding a horse.
Yes,
Sharon and I are riding a horse, and I think Mac was riding a horse too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's we have some horses. That said, I don't think that they're going to be great for in the woods. So, and also I'll just say I don't think any of you think the girls have gone far. You know, it's still morning of the day that they disappeared. The woods are deep and dark. You know, if you can't find them, then it may end up having to be a larger thing that pulls in more of the townspeople. So I'm going to start with Braun. Give me a sense of like what you are doing out here in the woods.
Well, as discussed, I was in the last session. I was leaving an incredibly helpful series of blaze trail markers for everyone to know which direction I had gone. Mm-hmm. That I, Nick, have been informed no one is going to see. But
you didn't I believe we've determined you didn't tell them what your mark looks like, and there's like marks on some of the other trees.
Right. It was a mixed success, so it is there. They just may not see it.
You'll be able to find your way back,
which
to
is
yourself,
great.
But yeah.
But my I think the path that I'm taking is looking around to see if I can see footsteps or other means of passage. So broken branches, disturbed bark, anything like that. And to see if I can kind of, with my knowledge, know where they might actually be headed towards. Like, since I grew up in Stonetop, if there was a particular place that was considered to be like where the fairies hang out, since I know that was something that Anouk was trying to do, like they're probably headed towards the fairy mound or the henge or whatever. So I think between area knowledge and looking at tracks, that's how I would be trying to figure out where they are.
I'm not inclined to say that you would know that much about the Fae. Like, you can do a spout lore roll to see if you do. I think Tyrn would know a fair amount because they're very loosely connected to her field of study, which I will explain if Tyrn starts doing some delving into this. But you would probably not necessarily know, even if you might know stuff from around town, but I don't know like how accurate that would be. But if you want to do a spout lore roll on it, you can, or you can do discern realities to sort of see if you can pick up a trail. So those would be your 2 options, I think.
Okay. What is spout lore? Is that int as
well? That is
plus
int, and discern realities is plus whiz.
Okay. They're actually both plus int for me. And I agree. I don't think I would know a lot about them, except for like the local legends. You know, what you tell the kids, don't go to this place, or the fairies will take you away.
Yeah.
if you do your chores. But I will try discern realities.
Okay.
And that looks like that is 11.
Okay, so there are questions on the move sheet. I can read them to you, and you can ask 3 of them, or you can hold one going forward. But the questions are: what happened here recently? What is about to happen? What should I be on the lookout for? What here is useful or valuable to me? Who or what is really in control here? And what here is not what it appears to be?
Okay. I would say what happened here recently.
Yeah, someone like, I mean, you crossed right where they did. Someone has been through here recently, and it looks like they cut a far wider swath than you'd expect 2 teenage girls to have cut.
Okay.
Yeah, there's someone has been through here. The path is clear-ish. You know, it's the woods, so stuff gets snapped and whatever. But you have done stuff like this before, so like you can follow it more or less.
Okay. I would say I have an inkling, but let's officially say what here is not as it appears to be.
You are dangerously close to a what can I say? How can I say this? You were dangerously close to like the nest, I would say, of a what's called a nailad, which is a large spider, and you know this because you can see like basically like corpses of rabbits and things like that, just sort of laying desiccated because they have been consumed by this. So you know one has to be close, and you also know that they burrow into the ground, so it could like pop up from beneath you. Tell me one other thing you know about nailats from your travels.
They have a how big are they? Like you said, it's a large spider. Are we talking like dog sized, or are we talking like pony sized, or are we talking like goldfish size?
They are man sized.
Okay.
And they typically they are far deeper into the woods. It's very weird to have one this close, but at the same time, like this is a part of the woods that is not that close to Stonetop, so it's not like concerning. It's just a little curious. But yeah, they are mostly known by their left behinds, which are animal corpses, or some of them live up in the trees and string webs across the trees. So it's very rare that you see them.
Okay.
But yeah,
they actually love horses. Like horses are one of their favorite snacks, and they will kind of trap them by doing like clearing like a little pit and doing like a trapdoor thing. Like they'll put a web and put dirt on there in the hopes that they can get a horse to like fall in the pit, break a leg, and then wrap it up and feast on that for a season.
Interesting. Gotcha. Okay. Do you have one more question to ask?
Okay. The last question I would say is, well, I feel like what I should be on the lookout for.
Yeah.
So I would say, what here is useful or valuable to me?
That's interesting. There are, so you sort of notice that there are other marks on the trees around you. Some of them are quite faded, some of them are quite recent, but there are some that are extremely recent.
Okay.
And they are sort of following the path that you're going, but it's a symbol you've never seen before. Like, your symbol is sort of built around, Stonetop, written language, that sort of thing. This is a very strange, unusual symbol you haven't seen before, and it is pretty freshly cut into some of the trees along the path you're following.
Okay.
All right. So the rest of you are at the ford, headed into the woods. You have your stuff. Carlo's men have come and dropped it off. Carlo, are you bringing any of your followers with you?
Just my dog.
Just the dog. Okay.
Just Durr.
Durr. Durr is our wonderful canine companion in this game. We love him so. So yeah, I assume is there anything else that any of you want to do before you cross the ford and go into the woods? I sense Ilsa is really hoping to move forward. But how about you, Tiernan and Carlo?
I tell the kids to make sure that they round up the town to come find us and the children if we're not back by sundown.
Okay. Got it.
They shouldn't go in the woods at night, but
yeah, that's a bad idea. Don't go into the woods at night, and it's right about noon. So
yeah, essentially, kind of build a fire and wait for us.
Yes, exactly. Okay, Tiernan, are you going to do anything else before you take off?
Unmute my mic first. I think Tiernan goes and finds, doesn't find, but tells one of the marshal's men, hey, can you just let the parents know their kids are out for the day, no more school, they can pick them up, take them home. And possibly no school tomorrow as well.
It's snow day. Yeah, cool.
Spider day.
So, Spider day. Do any of you have a plan for finding your way to Braun? Because again, we've established that the ford town was about 2 miles from where the girls crossed into the woods. The ford is down closer to town, so you would be crossing the river, far closer to town. I will say a couple things about this river. This river is extremely swift. It is extremely deep. If you get caught in the current, you can very quickly die. But this ford is safe, and you can walk over it just fine. You're not going to have to roll dexterity to cross this river. But yeah, the river itself is pretty. There's a lot of legends around it. There's a lot of stories about the ways in which it is, haunted by the ghosts of those who've fallen in. So give me a sense of how you think you're going to find Braun. If you're going to, you don't have to.
I feel like we ought. Go ahead, Mac.
Oh, sorry. My instinct is to double back and head back to where he crossed.
Okay. All right. Carlo, you were saying?
I let her know she has great instincts.
Okay, cool. Great. All right, so you're going to walk along the edge of the woods then, I assume, up until you're at the other, where Braun was. Correct me if I'm wrong on that assumption. Cool. How much do the three of you know about the woods? I'm going to assume Carlo has been out here a few times doing various things. So Carlo, tell me about some of your exploits in the woods.
Kind of, I haven't been out in the woods here much. I came out to scout for some missing sheep, and I got to the creek and said, "Yep, they're gone." And when we moved to town, there was a big drinking bonfire with me and the rest of my crew, as they decided this town was too small for them, and they left.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, that was a couple of years ago.
Okay. All right. Tiernan, I believe you had part of your backstory was you had seen this you'd come across the cottage in the woods that came up a couple of times. Do you have other experience with the woods? Have you gone out here frequently on your quests to understand the world better?
Yeah, Tyrion is no stranger to travel.
Mm-hmm.
And she knows that like some of her components and things that for potions, spells, whatever, she needs to go into the woods to get a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
So during the day, this is not on her time off, it is not unusual to catch her at least on the outskirts of the woods.
Okay, cool. Great. So if you're going to be walking along the edge of the woods to get to where Bronn crossed, that's not going to be a problem. There's not like anything really standing in your way. But if anybody wants to do any spout lore or anything like that on the way, just to sort of ponder this. Otherwise, you can get over to where Bronn was pretty easily. But he will have developed quite a head start on you because you had to go. You had a horse, so getting back to town was not so bad. But then you have to walk 2 miles back up the other side. So he'll have a head start of probably an hour or so.
But the path is clearly marked. You'll be able to find it no problem.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not going to be an issue. It's going to be easy. Yes, Carlo.
And again, I read the land last session, but I have not recovered that yet. Is that correct?
Correct. Tell me what you received from that.
Yes. Let me tell you that. You can continue. I'll find that.
Okay, cool. Great. So you get to the place where Bronn entered. At least you think, it seems it's close to where you were. You can see maybe some chunks of the ladder far down below. You can sort of step on into the woods. As you get in, it's it's a very different feeling. Ilsa, is this your first time kind of out in the woods like this?
Oh yeah, definitely. There's just been the stories that she's heard.
Cool. What's the first thing you notice that marks this as a place that's different from anywhere you've ever been?
The way it sounds.
What sort of sound does that
just that the quiet sound that's missing all of the city behind it, and the more clear chittering of the animals, and it's a completely different experience enveloping her at this point.
Okay. Cool. Tyrion, what is a thing to be a danger in the woods that has nothing to do with like animals or the supernatural? Just like a totally normal thing that could happen to you that would be deadly if you were in the woods.
There's like a sinkhole in the middle of the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Not in the middle, but like there's a sinkhole in the woods. It's pretty big, and you should be able to miss it. It's pretty big, but during the night it can be hard to see, and people have definitely fallen in.
Cool. Carlo, your read the land. I just looked this up. You can ask me. When you take a moment to survey the terrain, you can ask me one of the following to gain advantage on your next roll to act on the answer. And I don't think you have actually asked me any of these yet. I don't have that in my notes. So if you want to ask me one of these questions now, that's cool, and I'm happy to read them to you.
Let's see.
Go ahead.
I'm looking for the best spot for a trap or ambush at this point.
Yeah, okay. For you to lay one, or for someone else to have laid one?
For someone else to have laid one. It appears, it's clear to me that someone is helping these girls.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm not buying the whole fae thing, but
okay. You notice immediately that the path is so wide that it would not be particularly hard for someone to have, in essence, doubled back and then like cut off in a different direction, and that it is so wide that it almost could be like a too obvious way to go. Does that make sense? Like, you don't necessarily know that this is a trap. You don't necessarily know that this is an ambush, but it's a little too easy in your experience, I'd say.
But we're only looking for little girls.
You're only looking for little girls. Yes, you think. I mean, yeah, of course. It's only little girls. Great. Bron, we haven't heard from you in a second. What are you up to?
Still continuing down, making sure that I'm doing my best to stay away from an attack by the by a Nylad.
Mm-hmm. Nylad, yeah.
And trying to find Anouk and Dolores.
Okay. How much does it ping your radar that this trail is really easy to follow?
I don't think it pings my radar because I think that Brown has a very high estimation of his abilities and just thinks that he's that good.
Okay, great. Cool. Yeah, so you are sort of running deeper and deeper and deeper. And you... I'm trying to figure out if the... where did my dice go? Roll me Defy Danger plus Dexterity.
Absolutely.
Well, I look for my dice. They're right next to me.
That will be 10.
Okay. Great. You managed to sort of neatly step aside this like basically this like pit that sort of starts to sink in on itself. Not quite the sinkhole that Tyrion was talking about, but a pretty clear sign of like if there are like Nylads beneath, this is like where one of their dens would be. And you know that dens tend to be mothers with egg sacs. I'll just give you that.
Mm-hmm.
And that means that they're probably going to be extra protective. But you don't fall in because you... tell me how you avoid falling in.
I think that as my left foot goes out into the next bit of ground, I'm starting to put weight on it, but I can feel that it's not as solid as it looks. Like it has that sort of stretchy consistency of like a spider web.
Okay.
And even though I am heading that direction, I kind of throw my weight backwards and tumble back away from it as the edge falls in and shows me that there was in fact a little bit of a depression and I assume little bits of web. Mm-hmm. And the camouflaging dirt kind of falls away.
Okay. Have you ever... Tell me how close you've come to seeing one of these things. Like, have you just seen the remnants of their meals, of their webs, or have you actually, like, they're not things that most people have seen, so I'll tell you that. But have you come close to seeing one before?
I think so. The reason that the horse thing came into my head was I had the thought that in his travels and trading that he has seen them attack like a caravan, or rather like the lead horse that was pulling a cart, and so is somewhat familiar with them. It was swiftly dispatched by everyone who was part of the caravan, but
Sure.
But of course it's a terrifying experience to see a man-sized spider, and it did cost us one of the horses.
Okay, great.
Who had broken a leg, and unfortunately there wasn't anything we could do out in the wilderness.
Roll me I guess roll me a wisdom.
Okay.
Just a wisdom
Just
check.
straight up wisdom?
Yeah. I want to see it.
Good.
I'm doing a perception here. Going to see what happens.
I don't get to use intelligence or.
No.
Okay, not even.
I mean, if you can make an argument for like why you would, I'm trying to basically get you like figure out a way to like say that you sense something as opposed to something. But if you can make an argument for why you would know a lot about these spiders or the woods themselves, I could see you rolling it. You have to talk me into it though.
Okay. My argument would be sort of twofold. One is that on a mechanic standpoint, I took abilities that let me use int instead of wisdom when I'm doing things like discern realities.
Okay.
And also perceptive, which mechanically gives me an additional question when I do that.
Okay.
And so I think that I would normally use the sort of logical figuring things out senses rather than sort of like feelings.
Okay, cool. When I'm gonna say that makes sense to me. When when the pit sort of starts to collapse in on itself, the whole clearing that you're in goes quiet. Like there were bird sounds, there were other animal noises, there was even kind of a light breeze, and now it seems like there's nothing. Like the second that pit started to fall in,
everyone went predator.
Yeah, everyone went, oh crap. Yeah. Let's cut back to the other three of you. Is anybody, Carlo, tell me a little bit about what you make of the suspicions that I shared with you, if you take them on board at all.
Let me be clear. Are we riding lightning? Did they leave the horse behind?
The horses were left behind because the woods where you're going are not particularly great terrain for a horse. Yeah.
And we don't see any children's footprints.
No, but it is like such it's such a thick undergrowth that like you wouldn't see footprints so much as you would see like people moving through would leave a path, which is what you're following.
Right. And we're not seeing we think we're following bronze markings. Is that right?
Braun has left markings, but nobody knows what they look like. You could try to like figure it out by doing your discern realities or even a spout lore. But yeah, he neglected to leave with you what his mark looks like.
Oops.
Go ahead.
Oh, go.
I think I'm going to say, do you guys know what bronze markings look like? I'm going to crowdsource this roll.
Well, like, is this something that Braun has been using for a long, long time?
Well, he's left town and come back, so.
Well, I'm just wondering if people would have talked about it at some point. Or he might have in passing.
So the symbol, I mean, I was doing the best I could kind of with the little, with the ASCII characters and chat, but it's sort of like a stylized wagon with like a bed, and then it's got arrows because he travels between two different places. I should probably
I'm going to post it in the Twitch chat for everyone to see.
I should probably make those asterisks and not pluses because it's like a spoked wheel.
I get it.
But
we may have seen this on his storefront.
I don't think it would be like a storefront thing. I think it would be like more of like a sort of like a personal sigil type thing. Like if there was stationery or if there was something like a seal, it would be on that, like that sort of stylized wagon. But I don't think it would be necessarily on like an official. This is my shop. This is my.
Yeah. Of the three of you, who knows Braun best?
Braun has promised to teach me to be more like he is and more prepped for adventure.
Mm-hmm.
So probably me.
Okay. Given what you know of Braun, what you know what? I'm going to have you roll spout lore. I'm going to have you spout lore about Braun.
Okay.
So that'll be plus intelligence.
Let's see. Do I have any?
It's about
I
me.
do. All right, dice don't suck. That would be an 11.
Okay, great. Well, it's good for you. You can, like, you don't know Braun's symbol, but you know Braun's handwriting. So, like, you have a sense of what what it would be just based on what he knows, and also you can tell that, like, this symbol that's been carved relatively recently is something that he would probably have done. So you have a good sense of Braun. Why don't you two give me like just a quick little flashback to a time when Braun was attempting to teach Ilsa some useful things, maybe back in the town. I'm going to just set the scene and say it's raining.
It's not when you go out into the world, it's not always wise to let people know your name, unless of course you want that. But there may be situations in which you just have a symbol or a moniker or something that you would be known by, rather than necessarily your full name. It's I found it very useful in the past as something that you can use as plausible deniability, or also just to alert a friend without alerting a foe what a piece of correspondence may have come from, or even just as a symbol to leave for others to be able to locate you without identifying your intentions to everyone who might happen by. So that might be one thing that you want to spend some time thinking about if you do want to pursue this life of adventure, as just sort of a personal way of identifying yourself.
How did you get inspired for yours?
Well, I thought of the things that are important to me, that would identify me to people that I know, and that might not be so obvious for those who did not know me. And to be honest, I found that something very simple, only a few lines or some straight lines, are a lot easier than if it has a lot of curvatures, because you never know if you might need to put it into something in a sort of improvised manner. And things are easy to carve or draw, leave in the wine, and I sort of squiggle a thing that doesn't really look like this. In essence, I'm doing my sigil in like a spilled bit of liquid, but because it's liquid, it doesn't look like what actually got carved into the trees there. In anything other than sort of a vague way. You never know exactly what you might need to indicate that you were here.
Ilsa,
And I'm pointing at the squiggles at the bottom. Are those the eyes?
Something like that, yes.
Like just having no idea what the hell he's just drawn.
Yeah.
It's so bad. It's like when it's like a little kid's drawing, you're trying to discern it.
Ilsa, show me how you tell the others that you think you figured out which mark is his.
Okay. I think there's probably not a lot of words involved, as much as a lot of like, oh, over, look.
Cool. Great. So, what do y'all do with this knowledge? Does that make you feel confident you're on the right track?
Tieran starts drawing a version of it in her notebook. So she's like, oh, I guess this is what he puts on his business cards.
It's like telephone now.
Yeah. Do any of you recognize it as a wagon?
I'm sticking by what I thought it was originally, so this is what Tyrion thinks it is. She thinks it's a fox.
Okay.
And here, I think that Tyrion has probably actually seen it, but like it was on, it was on like a wax, it was the sigil on a wax seal, and I don't know that you actually really looked at it very much, or even that it survived very well after it had been through several hands getting up back to Stonetop.
Yeah, she's convinced it's a fox because he's a sneaky one.
I mean,
It's like he's spy. I get it.
a fair assumption. Yeah. So you're plunging deeper and deeper into the woods. Bron, what are you up to now that this hole has opened up in front of you?
So I am going to stealthily walk backwards, keeping my eye on what I believe to be a lair,
Okay.
Nylad lair, and just trying to go back up the path, keeping basically just keeping my eyes open, be ready for attack. So I've got one hand on my dagger, and then I'm just trying to make as little noise and vibration as I possibly can.
Okay. Roll Defy Danger plus Constitution.
Okay. Sounds like someone's getting poisoned. That would be a 4.
Oh gosh. Tell me how you absolutely screw up being stealthy.
I think I'm so focused on the pit and the lair as I back up that I forget a tree root, like an exposed tree root on the path that I had easily stepped over when I could see it, and go ass over tea kettle back behind me.
Okay. You look and watch as the pit like crumbles in a little bit more, and then you see one giant hairy leg and then another, and this creature starts to drag itself up out from the pit. And very, you just made a bunch of noise, so just very quickly, like immediately locks all. How many eyes do spiders have? 8?
8.
Like locks all 8 eyes right on you.
One for each leg. Just like people, actually. So yeah. Spiders are people.
Bron, give me a sense of how deep into the woods you think you've got. Like how quickly were you moving versus like how much were you stopping to like leave this path?
I'd said before that the idea was I think that I was trying to leave each mark within sight of the last one, so that it would kind of be like when you hit one, you'd be able to see where the next part of the path was.
Okay.
So stopping fairly often, but also there was a sense of urgency to try and find these two girls. So I would say that if I turned around and ran at full speed, that I could be out of the woods in 10 minutes.
Okay.
But
okay.
So, fairly deep, but not all the way in.
Okay, cool. I'm just trying to determine how close everyone is to you in this space, which doesn't have a map. Yeah, so, but you are currently on your back with a spider lunging towards you. Do you do anything? Do you say anything? You shout?
Yeah, I yell an obscenity.
Okay. The other 3 of you, please roll. Please. The other 3 of you, please roll. I guess. God, I don't know what it would be. Just roll. Roll. I guess roll whiz to see if you hear this.
That is a 9 for me.
Okay.
I got a 5.
Okay.
I hear nothing.
Yeah. So, Tiernan, you definitely hear somebody shout just a foul word, but you can't entirely tell where it came from. But it sounds like Braun. And no, the other two of you didn't hear anything. What do you do?
Tiernan immediately just kind of stops everybody. She's like, "Did you hear that?
No.
What?
It was Braun. I am pretty sure Braun just
Yelled, "Ah, fuck!"
Yeah. She's like, I heard it. It was an fuck. So it was definitely Braun.
Was it from ahead?
I don't quite know where it came from, but I think if we keep following the symbols, we might be able to find out.
Let's pick up the pace then.
Mm-hmm.
We're not gonna go at a sprint.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if she's doing a witchy thing or what.
Tiernan is gonna go very quickly ahead and try to see if she can figure out where she heard that noise from and follow the symbols.
Cool.
Oh,
Are you actually running?
Yeah, she's running. She's like,
Okay.
run, because it sounds to her he sounded like he was in trouble.
Roll Defy Danger plus Dexterity, Tiernan.
Oh, good.
Emily, I had a question. We mark XP when we fail a roll?
Yes.
Great.
Oh, my dex is 0. Well, that's a 6.
Okay. All right.
That's not exactly what I expect her to do when she runs.
Yeah, just describe this to me. It's like, in fact, I'm not even going to say that. I think you get there. I think you just make a ton of noise while you're doing it.
Oh yeah, so she's like running and she's being very careless, and she's like trying to see if she can ready her bow. And I think as she gets to the spider, she stumbles over the same branch, fell over. So she's like, "Oh fuck," and like falls flat on her face.
You in the process, so you were pulling out your bow and I assume an arrow?
Yeah, she was basically trying to ready it and pull it out. But since she's a teacher, she says something more like, "Oh fudge," because she.
Yeah. As you fall, you break that arrow, so you're down to 7. Okay. Did the other two of you? So I think that presumably Tiernan just took off kind of at a dead sprint and got there. Didn't take her too long, so I think you can figure you're about 500 meters, would quarter mile from wherever this clearing is. So to the other two of you, what do you do?
If
Definitely.
Ilsa can keep,
Go ahead.
I keep up with Ilsa because I promised to protect her.
Okay.
I'm moving at a really steady clip, but I'm not sprinting.
Okay. All right.
Trying to listen and observe if there's anything up ahead, since Tiernan kind of disappeared, and after she thought she heard something. Not going to run in there.
Yeah, you're close enough now that you could hear Tiernan or Braun if they shouted something back. So Tiernan or Braun, do you shout something back? Tiernan would know that.
Oh yeah, if you shouted after us, Tiernan would be like, "Giant spider!"
I come to the rescue, sword drawn.
Carlo, have you seen these giant spiders before? And what do you know of them?
I've heard of them. I've used their tricks to ambush people who look like they had money on the side of roads.
Yeah.
I've never seen one.
Okay, cool. Ilsa, have you heard anything about these ever before?
Oh yeah, especially with the people coming into the tavern
Mm-hmm.
and that may have come by way of the woods or near there. They're going to have a lot of stories about these spiders.
What's the most... Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Oh, no, please. You were following
I
up.
was going to ask Ilsa, what is the most improbable story you've heard that you're pretty sure isn't true, but you a part of you is like, well, if it is, that's really bad.
That there are ones that are even bigger and eat something larger than horses.
Okay. I like that. Keeping that in mind. What were you going to say, Bron?
I actually have something that I was thinking of sort of before everyone else shows up here. I rolled, and I didn't realize that it was Tyrn who came up behind me. And so what Braun thinks is that there is another spider, and when Tyrn fell and the arrow broke, the head of it like scratched the back of his leg, which he interpreted as some sort of like, a fang or something. And I vault on top of the spider in front of me, figuring that it can't get me on top, the other one can't get me there as well, and also so that then I can start trying to stab through the kill it.
So you're gonna do a bull ride on a spider.
Yes. If the hand instead of up was plunging a dagger into the back of the spider, yes.
Yep. Love it. Okay. Roll me a defy danger plus dexterity.
You bet. That it was amazingly bad. That's a 3 plus 2. I'm sorry, plus 1 is 4. So this does not go according to plan. Take that hard move.
Yeah, you vault onto the spider all right, but it immediately like rears up and knocks you back. It doesn't do any damage, but it definitely knocks the wind out of you, and you fall down into the pit, and you are now you haven't broken it, but you are now directly on top of the egg sack.
Oh no.
So yeah, and you're right on top of an egg sack with a hungry mother spider just above. So that's where you are. Tyrn, what do you do?
She sees that and is like, shit, dude, what are you doing? But she's gonna get her bow ready and unleash an arrow aiming at one of the spider's eyes.
Yeah, one of the spider's eyes. Okay. Let's see. Sorry. Goodness. So you're going to roll volley, which is a plus dexterity.
Good.
Yeah.
That's a 4.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh. Tell me how badly this shot goes.
So she tripped over the branch. Braun just jumped and tried to land on the egg sack. I imagine Yakety Sax is playing this. So yeah, she's gonna like roll over and like get her bow out and try to shoot. And I think she's going. I feel like it's going to whiff right past Braun. Like you get another scratch on the ear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Has Tyrn said anything yet? Now, or is still just?
It's just fudge and giant spiders.
Okay.
All she has said is, "Oh no."
Okay. Yeah, the spider. I will say the spider seems momentarily confused by both of you being there. So tell me how quickly you're moving forward, Carlo and Ilsa, at this point.
I mean, I think we're moving pretty fast. There's going to be commotion that we're hearing at this point, I imagine.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I want to try to get there.
Okay.
I heard Tyrn. She said she heard Braun, but I heard her, and she said giant spider.
Cool. All
People
right.
say these things are bigger than people and eat horses. That's bad.
That's bad.
Yeah.
That is really not great. Okay, so are you say you're sort of running at this point?
Yes.
Do a defy danger plus dexterity for me, just to make sure you don't just like immediately fall on top of this thing.
9.
Okay. You run into the clearing, but and you see the spider in time to sort of skitter clear of it. But you get your foot like caught in the ground from where kind of this sinkhole continues to open up. Yeah. Ilsa, what are you up to?
I would like to get there as well.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you roll defy danger plus dexterity.
Cool.
And then we all died.
I rolled snake eyes. Well, hello, experience point. It'll be great to use you on my next character.
Thank you all for joining us for Stonetop. We hope you enjoyed the season.
See us again next week for another session 0.
She would have been a hero.
Yeah. So you run in, and not only do you trip over this pernicious tree root, but the spider at this point has just had it and immediately leaps on top of you. Doesn't deal any damage yet, but it does have you pinned down. And because of the direction you were running, I assume you've fallen on your face, so the spider is standing on your back, pinning you to the ground. Yeah. Great times. I need to find some of my dice here because, yeah, this spider is going to attack because I held it off as long as I could. But, all right. And, okay. Oh, yeah. Gosh. Mac, do you have any armor among your gear? Like you have your blacksmith thing, right?
Yes.
Do you have a sense of like that as armor? It would be good if you did.
It'd be a heavy piece of leather, but unfortunately that usually covers sort of the front side of things, and the spider has leapt on my back.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna say it's it's worth 1 point off because I did 7 points damage, so it will be 6 points because it's sort of just flailing blindly, and enough of its attack gets absorbed by the apron.
Got it.
So yeah, you take 6 points of damage as its legs kind of scrabble at you. It does have a poisonous bite. I will say this is something you would all know. And it has yet to actually bite you, but it sort of feels as though it's prepping you to do so. Okay, where is everybody? Carlo, it has his foot stuck in the ground. Tiern just shot an arrow into the woods. And Braun has landed on a egg sack. Yeah, I think we're gonna go with Carlo next because you do seem to be sort of closest to all of this action. So what do you do?
I defend.
Okay. Give me a sense of how you would do that.
I swing a very sharp sword in its general direction, and I start calling out giant spider.
Okay. So okay, cool. First, just tell me how you get your foot free. Like I'm not going to make you roll on this. Just tell me like how you do it.
While I'm swinging, I'm wiggling.
Okay, great. Yeah. Because this hole is opening up beneath you, but you're staying just ahead of it. So yeah, defend, which you're going to jump in and protect Ilsa, I assume. Roll plus Constitution.
I think that's a 10.
Okay.
No, it's a 9.
Okay. So you get 1 readiness. Do you have a shield of any sort?
I do not.
Okay, so you get 1 readiness. You get to do 1 for this. You get to choose 1 from this list. You can suffer an attack's damage or effects instead of your ward, which would mean that suddenly all of the damage that was going to go on Ilsa would go to you. You can have the damage that Ilsa suffered. You can draw all attention from Ilsa to yourself, and you can strike back at an attacker, which means you would deal your damage with disadvantage.
I draw all attention.
Okay, all attention. So tell me how you do that.
I clip the top of his leg.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, and the spider like turns and looks you up and down, and then
I reflect light into its eyes.
yeah, and it starts scuttling towards you a little bit more quickly, a little bit more quickly, a little bit more quickly, but not quite getting to you. Tyrion, what are you gonna do?
I just realized I have a move that might have been very helpful a long time ago. It's called Work with What You've Got, and you can wield your environment against your foes. It allows me to roll intelligence, so maybe I'll have a shot. So this is a pretty heavy. The ground beneath it's kind of soft and sinkholey, and then there's like a bunch of trees around us, right?
Yep. You're in a forest clearing. Yes.
Okay. So she's gonna grab she's gonna look for the biggest, bendiest tree branch she can find, and basically pull it back to slap the spider.
Okay. Great.
I
love it. I love it. Tell me how it goes.
Okay, that's already good on its own. +2. Yay, that's an 11. So I get to do 2 things from my list.
Oh, great. Yeah. What? I'm pulling up the list right now because I have to find your playbook. Go ahead.
So the first thing I want to do is impede and interrupt its actions.
Okay.
So I think it's like skittering over to Carlo.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say I will deal an appropriate amount of damage to the source.
Okay. So, gosh, it's a tree branch.
I think it counts in the bruises, scrapes, possibly the D4.
Yeah, roll the D4. Let's see what happens.
Not a ton, but well, it was nice while it lasted. I rolled a 1.
Okay. Well, you don't do any damage because this spider does have a nice, beautiful exoskeleton. But you tried, and that's what's important. Tell me how it looks when you pull this branch back and smack the spider with it.
She immediately is just like, bow's not working out so well, runs over, pulls it back as far as it can without snapping it, and just like lets it rip. So I feel like it's turned its direction toward Carlo, so it just gives a big smack in the butt.
Yeah, and it's like, again, it doesn't get injured by this, but it does like get if it was a cartoon, it would have little like birds going around its head. It is like briefly, momentarily confused and stunned. So you've bought everybody a little bit of time. Braun, how you doing? Those baby spiders underneath you are starting to wake up.
Oh no.
Just letting you know.
I'm torn between 2 actions.
Okay.
So what is the I look around, what is sort of the general dimensions of this pit, trap, lair, spider home?
It is roughly like the center of the clearing is like, so it's probably the size of like I'm trying to think of a good comparison point for this. It's like the size of like a small studio apartment.
Okay.
Under here, it's round, But then there's like tunnels going off everywhere. Like the thing that Carlos stepped into, that was a tunnel that scutters off up to the top. So like there are various escape routes this spider can take. And they're all along the edges, but some of you don't know where all of them go.
Okay, and I can hear that the spider is kind of occupied with my friends, since I've now heard people say stuff
Yes.
and things like that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to ease my way off of the egg sac and then try and light it on fire with the flint and steel.
Okay. You're going to light the egg sac on fire.
Yes, I am.
Oh boy, this is a great plan. I have never heard of a plan so good.
So I felt like I wanted to play an impetuous character, and I'm just embracing it.
I love it. I love it. I'm trying to figure out what to roll for this. Yeah, I'm going to have you roll Defy Danger plus Constitution.
Okay.
Because these things are waking up, and they are starting, like they're tiny babies, but they're starting to like reach and like it's very gross and weird.
Yeah, no, I get it. So my con is +0. But that is a 10.
All right. Awesome. Yeah. Okay. Then it's your story. Tell me how you set these baby spiders on fire.
So there's like forest detritus that has fallen into this pit and in this hole. Mm-hmm. So there's like, there's some leaves and some twigs and stuff like that, and I take the flint and steel and I'm able to strike, and get like a little bit of, a little spark catches, and I blow on it and I shove it all sort of like under one side of the egg sac, and then I back away as the egg sac starts to take flame. And kill these baby spiders in my mind, and then I'm gonna try and scramble out of the hole.
They start to scream. Braun, please tell me, this is one of the 10 worst things you've ever heard. Name one of the things that's worse
than screaming baby spiders.
Yeah. They're like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
A drink that I had to share with some trading partners in one of the savage areas that I have traveled in, that was made out of excrement and fermented milk. It was sterile, and it was absolutely disgusting. The smell was awful, the taste was awful, and it was like cloying. It stuck in my throat for like another 3 days. But I got the deal done, and that's what was important.
Well, at least it's not that. Tyrion, you were going to say something.
Oh no, something. I clicked something by accident, and it rickrolled me, and I screamed. I wasn't expecting it. Well, my internet sounds turned off, and sometimes.
I just remembered that we are trying to keep harm to animals behind a veil. Technically, baby spiders are animals, but
I could not do that. I apologize.
No, you're fine. I think, if is anybody here bothered by spiders being okay? Yeah, I smush spiders. I'm sorry, world. Yeah, we'll just say that bad stuff's happening with the spider web.
Okay.
And the important thing is that up above, the mama spider immediately steps to and starts scrambling back for the hole. So I think we are back around to Carlo.
No, Ilsa?
Oh yeah, Ilsa is yeah, we're back around to Ilsa because the spider is now off your back. So.
And it's scuttling away, and it's the only one that we see in the general area, right?
Yes. Yeah, I guess I don't know how much Elsa would know about these spiders, so I'm not going to say anything. But yeah, it's the only one you see.
That's not
I
ominous.
think she's pretty embarrassed at this point for rushing in and failing so bad. I think she might start backing away from the spider. Like she's kind of reaching for her blacksmith hammer, but is not engaging at this moment.
Yeah, I don't think you need to do anything special to do that. Yeah, if you wanted to know more about like if what else is going on here, you could roll discern realities. But I think if you're just trying to get away, you don't need to roll anything on that because there's nothing impeding you from doing that.
Okay.
Cool. Carlo.
I hack and slash it as it goes by.
Okay, cool. Please roll hack and slash.
Is that plus strength?
Yes, sorry.
I got an 11.
Ooh, okay. So deal your damage, which
I think is 1d8.
Yes, roll 1d8.
I got a 4.
Okay. And then you get to pick one of these two. Avoid, prevent, or counter your enemy's attack. Strike hard and fast for 1d6 extra damage, but you will suffer an attack.
Have I seen Braun?
No.
Then I avoid damage.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you strike, you said you rolled a 4?
4.
Okay. You strike and the spider, your
Do I get a leg?
Yeah, yeah, is that what you want to do?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Tell me how it looks when you cut one of these legs off.
I think we hear a crunch, and my sword doesn't come out, but I have to wrench it off, and the leg comes off with it.
That's awesome. I love that. The spider is now missing a leg, but it's still like sort of hobbling its way toward the sinkhole. Tyrion, what are you up to?
Tyrion is going to look around for a possible I wish I had like an axe on me. She's gonna look around and see if there is like a relatively loose relatively heavy branch that she could possibly shake free to fall on top of the spider or push over.
How are you planning to do that?
I was like, should I just shake a tree like Animal Crossing and hope? Or should I just climb the tree? I think she like is going to lightly try to climb and then like shove it down.
Roll me defy danger plus dexterity.
Okay.
You got to get up that tree before you can shove it down.
Yes. This is the. Yep. All right, dice, don't fail me now. Well, of course you're gonna fail me now. It's a 5.
Okay. You get far up enough in the tree to grab hold of the branch, but it gives way as soon as you touch it. And you are falling with it. You're going to land on the spider, so that will break your fall, but
Pile drive it.
Not what you wanted to do.
Take 2 points of damage because you are falling out of a tree.
Okay. I just noticed we have a health area.
You do indeed. Let's see. What is this spider up to? The spider is back inside the goes back inside its hole and sees its egg sac is on fire.
Take that,
Son-
you eight-legged freak!
And it immediately jumps. It immediately jumps on top of Tyrion. Are you still riding on the back of this spider?
I don't think she got off of it. She went to. I think it's like a very split second. So no, she's still on it.
Okay, so you do have the work with what you've got, and I forgot to have you roll that.
Yes.
So please roll work with what you've got, which is plus intelligence.
Yes. It was a 7.
Great.
My PDF is being super strange, but it means I can do one of the things. My original intention was to do damage to it because I was hoping a bigger branch might hurt it more.
Yeah, you could try and do damage to it. I think I'd say a d6. So roll a d6, see what damage you do.
4.
Goodness. Okay, so the spider, like, part of its like carapace. Thank you for that word, by the way, Mo. Is kind of like crumples in a little bit, but it is still like dragging itself toward the hole, and you are still on its back, and you are still, and you appear down in this hole as Braun is saying, "Take that, you eight-legged freak." Yeah, so the spider is going to lunge at you, Braun, because you're trying to kill its babies.
No, I was just standing here and that fire just broke out. I had nothing to do with it.
Give me a defy danger plus dexterity.
You bet. Eight.
Okay. Let me know whether you would like to suffer damage or a bite. I'm going to let you have the choice.
Oh. It's lunging at me, and I think it would probably want to bite the intruder. So I'm going to say a bite.
Okay.
I don't want a bite. I would take damage, but I think that's what the spider is doing.
It fastens its fangs around your shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to have you take 1 point damage for that because it's very...
Of course.
But, yeah, it fastens its fangs around your shoulder, and you know this thing's got poison just coming out of its ears. And it
spider
wrestles
has
you.
ears? Oh my god.
It has 8 ears.
Ah!
And it wrestles you to the ground as it does this and starts dragging you back up one of these tunnels.
Oh boy, that's
by
not
the
good.
shoulder. Yeah.
Left or right?
Left.
Okay.
Tyrion, of course, is down here and can see this happen. So, Ilsa, what's up?
I think upon seeing Braun attacked, she's gonna muster up the courage that she has and go and try and take a swing at the spider with the blacksmith hammer.
Okay.
Can Carlo try to intercede?
Yeah, you can interfere with a player character's actions.
Because we're both not in the hole, and they are in the hole.
I'm interpreting that as Ilsa, like, sort of hearing this screaming and then running forward and hopping down and trying to do this.
Ilsa, do you look half dead?
It's bad, but it's a flesh wound.
Yeah, it's there's big long scrapes down Ilsa's back, but not like and there is blood there, but it does not appear to be life-threatening. Like you would recover in time.
I say, stay out. Somebody's going to have to help us get out of here.
Yeah, Carlo, please roll interfere plus charisma.
Sure. That's what I do. Charisma.
Hmm.
Roll a 10.
Okay, so Ilsa, you can choose one of these two. You will do this anyway. You will go and attack this spider anyway, but you will have disadvantage, or you can change course or otherwise just sort of say, okay, I'm not going to do this, basically.
Okay. There's no real bonus to one way or another. There's just the disadvantage.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. And disadvantage is just like you would roll 3 dice and take the 2 lowest.
With how these are rolling, I think I'm gonna. Somebody has basically interrupted my call to adventure by saying, "Oh, we're gonna need you to hang back," which is the role that she's used to doing.
Oh.
And I think she's gonna kind of be like, "Okay, okay," and lowers her blacksmithing hammer.
Carla, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about seeing this truly sad scene?
Carlo is satisfied she'll be safe. Maurice is very sad. Maurice is very, very sad.
I just remembered I forgot to account for Durr in all of this. Has Durr been around, or is Durr off like chasing rabbits?
Durr would have pulled me out of the hole.
Okay.
And he would have he could have held back, and he might be approaching just now.
Okay. Cool.
If
Great.
that suits your purposes.
That's fine. I'm happy working. I'm always happy working a dog in. Let's see. Okay, Carlo, you just interfered. So tell me what you're going to do now. The spider is down in the hole, dragging Braun up a path.
I assume I can't hand her 25 feet of rope and jump in the hole. I have to do either at this point.
You can. Yeah, I think you can. You're just handing someone rope. I think you can do that and jump in the hole. Yeah.
So I hand you the rope, Ilsa.
I take the rope.
I want to see this moment where you're kind of like, oh, I guess I hold the rope. Do you
Yeah,
have a
and that's basically
conversation,
what. Good luck.
Oh. Roll damage for your crushed spirit.
Yeah. Roll a d20 to see how much damage has been done to your soul.
Oh man.
Right.
Sadly, Carlo doesn't care, and he jumps in the hole. Trying to, if possible, stab the spider with a hack and slash.
The spider is already kind of up the tunnel, so jumping in the center of the hole will not make that happen. Tyrion, what are you going to do?
Tyrion hasn't gotten off the spider.
You're still on the spider? Okay.
All
right.
She just was like, well, I guess it's going after my friend, so I guess I'll just stay here.
Okay.
And now they're going through you're going through. Was there Wait, was there fire as this is happening?
Mm-hmm. The spider eggs are on fire. The baby spiders are on fire. We're trying not to think about it.
Right.
As they're passing it, she's going to take one of her arrows and take the like wooden end and light it on fire.
Oh. Okay.
And then set the spider on fire.
I love this. That sounds like a defy danger plus it's a plan of some sort. Do I think it's a clever plan? I don't know. You know what? Yes, I think it's a clever plan. Roll plus intelligence.
No. No. That's a 5.
Okay, what do you set on fire instead?
Probably
Me.
accidentally the tunnel. Because she was like trying to just go like this and then put it on the spider. But I feel like she accidentally did it as they start going through the tunnel, so she's just set the ceiling on fire.
Yeah, it's like lined with bramble and old tree roots and all this stuff. So yes, the ceiling is on fire above you as this, and it only makes the spider take off at a greater clip. Bron, you were being dragged by this spider. What do you want to do?
I am going.
The tunnel is on fire.
Yeah.
I want to be clear about this.
Yeah, the roof is on fire. I am going to stab the spider, like underneath. I mean, it's got me in its jaws, so I feel like I've got a really good angle that I can get a dagger in and just kind of reverse ice pick it.
Give me a hack and slash.
Okay.
That's plus strength.
The dagger's a precise weapon, so do I get to use Dex?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Well,
Why
I'm assuming if that's how it works because like one of my abilities, Skill at Arms, lets me use Dex with it. Lets me treat
cool.
certain weapons as precise, which lets me use Dex to hack and slash.
Great. I love it.
Okay. That's 11.
Okay. So you get to do. You're going to deal your damage. How much damage does a dagger do?
I didn't see that there were individual damage ratings for them. I only saw that I have a certain base damage. So am I not? Is there something I'm not seeing?
No. Do your base damage.
Okay. Base damage is a D8. That's 5.
Okay. And then you get to do one of the following 2. You can avoid, prevent, or counter your enemy's attack. Or strike hard and fast for 1d6 extra damage, but suffer your enemy's attack.
I think I'm already suffering my enemy's attack, so I'm going to try and do extra damage.
Okay.
So
1d6.
Extra d6 is going to add another 2 for a total of 7.
Yeah, this spider's dead.
Okay.
You put your dagger. Tell me where you put your dagger up to kill this spider.
I think so it's got me in its mandibles, so I think what happens is like I get right underneath where the mandibles are and kind of stab up into its brain, and then I think it collapses on top of me and she-lobs me. If that's the damage that I'm gonna take in return for doing the extra damage to this spider.
Yes, and plus it's still got its fangs in you, so that'll take a bit to get out. I'm gonna have it do some damage on its way out the door.
That sounds like it's reasonable.
You aren't wearing armor, correct?
I am not.
Okay, that's 5 damage.
Oh, fantastic. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So you and Tyrion are in a tunnel that's on fire. You're on opposite sides of a dead spider. I just want to see what kind of conversation you have. I'm just excited to continue eating my dinner and like hearing what you two talk about because this is a very interesting situation.
Can you get this off of me? And I'm like struggling with it with one hand, with one arm. It's got its fangs in me. I don't. Did you set the roof on fire?
Don't think about it too much, but yes, it is on fire. I will try to come down there and help you because she's still on top of the spider, which is I'm sure she's not.
Can
heavy.
you just at least reduce the weight, get off of the spider?
Yeah. So she gets off the spider and comes around to. She like kind of crawls forward, so she's like at the front of it where the fangs are, and she's gonna she's like, can you get your arm? She's like, I'm gonna try to lift, but you try to get your arms under it and lift too, because I'm not very strong.
Just do it.
Okay. So she's gonna try and lift the fangs.
I'm going to make you do a Defy Danger plus Strength because those fangs are still covered in poison.
Yeah.
Me or both of us or?
I'm going to have it be Tyrion, but you can assist. So Tyrion, you will get 3 dice, and you pick your top 2. I don't even need you to explain how you're assisting. It makes total sense.
Right.
So.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, that's a 10.
Great. Okay, so you pull it off. Tell me how you two get this spider off of Braun.
So yeah, she crawls forward to the front and has the head kind of in her hands and just kind of starts lifting so that Braun can kind of push.
And I help push it up and off.
And she's gonna help Braun up and then try to get him carefully out of the tunnel. Even though she's like, I really want some of that poison.
I just kind of shimmy out from the side, just wiggling my body free of the dead weight of the spider.
Actually, because she's curious, she's gonna be like, can you walk? Are you good? Can you you get out of here? I'm gonna collect poison from the spider.
We're in a flaming tunnel, and is that necessary right now?
Yeah. Don't worry about it. Just you can get out. It's fine. I'm gonna do this. It's fine. I'll be fine. I'm small. I can crawl through fire probably.
I'm not leaving you. Just be quick.
You don't have to.
The longer we talk, the more danger we're in. Just do it.
Okay.
Carlo, you are also, I think, down here, but you're outside a tunnel that's on fire. I just want to be clear on this. The tunnel is on fire.
Yes.
I'm going to grab Braun and drag him out and say, where's Tyrion?
Yeah, she's got a glass vial because I put some of those in her pack, and she is taking the fang and kind of dripping poison into it.
I'm cool with you grabbing Braun, but I'm going to make you roll Defy Danger plus Constitution because there's a lot of smoke, there's a lot of flame. You have to really want to grab it.
I rolled a 6.
Oh, good thing.
I'm going to give you the choice of you inhale a bunch of smoke, and every roll you have will be at a disadvantage until you've shaken it off, which will probably take the better part of a few hours. But you do get Braun out, or it's just too much for you and you stumble back and aren't able to grab him.
So every roll will be at a disadvantage?
Every roll that would involve physical exertion. If you're doing a discern realities, no, of course not. But if you are hacking and slashing or doing you want to run somewhere, yeah, the smoke's gonna get to you.
I grab Braun.
Oh, that's so heroic.
Give me a sense of that moment then between the two of you.
So I'm coughing, and I guess if I'm going to suffer consequences for the rest of the game, I grab you by the correct arm, not the injured arm. And I drag you out. And when we get outside, I say, where's Tyrion?
She's collecting spider venom. I tried to talk her out of it.
What?
So if I can say, I think that my hand reaches out, your hand reaches out, we do the warrior grasp, around the wrist, and you pull me out, and I'm coughing, and my left arm is kind of dangling, injured from the shoulder down, and you ask me where she is. I said I tried to talk her out of it. I couldn't I couldn't force her, but she wants to study the poison.
Um,
Tyrion, we have to go now.
We scream into the hole. So I guess I'm not going back in there.
Elsa, what are you up to up above?
The whole
How like smoke is smoke is rising up out of this hole. Yeah.
Yeah. And let's see, you guys have just sort of popped up like near where like I'm hearing this conversation, or are you?
I think you'd be able to hear it. I mean,
Yeah,
we're not...
you should hear the conversation. I don't know if you could see us.
On the edge of the pit, you'd be able to hear them because they're probably talking pretty loudly to be heard over the flames.
Somebody has to go back in there. Somebody has to get her out.
Tyrion, we have to go now.
All right.
Is she responding at all? Like,
Karen.
She doesn't say any. She's like, okay. She's like, one second, and then like as she like fills it up and plops the. They're not so big. They're not super big, so it doesn't take super long. But she like plops the cat back on, puts it in her sack, and then like starts trying to climb out.
Give me a little.
Does
Go
this
ahead.
count as so? My drive is curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
Does this count as causing trouble by touching, opening, or tinkering with something?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You set a hole on fire, like
Oops.
everything is great right now.
And my drive is honor. So I wrap something around my face and hold my breath and try to go back in.
Okay. Defy danger plus. I'm gonna have you both roll defy danger. Tyrion, roll plus wisdom. Yes, you're at disadvantage. You're at disadvantage, Carlo. But remember, you do have 2 free rerolls. So
I'm glad I'm saving them.
do them plus Constitution. So Carlo will be plus Constitution. Tyrion will be plus wisdom.
So I roll an 8.
Okay.
That's taking out my highest die.
That's an 8.
All right. So Tyrion, you get poison. It is like kind of you don't get the cleanest sample. It's kind of mixed in with some dirt, but you think you can handle it. Carlo, you do run in, you grab Tyrion. I'm going to tell you that the mouth of the tunnel behind you collapses.
Oh, so we're stuck in the tunnel.
Well, there is an exit somewhere.
So can I try to brute force it?
I'm gonna try and clear it from the other side, from the pit side.
Okay.
Fire?
No, the collapsed tunnel.
Yeah.
Fire is my question.
No, the fire is behind the. You're trapped with the fire.
Okay.
Let's have you, Bron, roll defy danger plus strength. I don't see another way to do it.
Sure. I'm going to say that I'm probably at disadvantage because I've only got 1 good arm.
Okay. Thank you for doing that for me.
Yeah, you bet. We're all trying to tell a fun story. However, I rolled triple nickels, so that's a 10 regardless.
Amazing. Yeah, tell me. So you are
good
one
dice.
armed.
You're good dice.
One armed. You are clearing out this tunnel. Tell me how you're doing that.
I think that what I've noticed is that a lot of the like clods of dirt and detritus there are still webbed together into kind of like one mass, and so I loop my arm through like the biggest chunk I can carry, and I just use my entire body to just kind of like pull, and the web holds together, sort of dragging more chunks out, so that so that what had just collapsed in is able to be cleared using the natural resources that were there.
Okay. Ilsa, have you tossed that rope down?
I mean, the rope was. Yeah, I guess I would have gone over and tossed down the rope.
Okay. Cool. I want Carlo and Tiern, whichever of you is in a better has better constitution. I want you to roll Defy Danger plus that, but you get advantage because you're working together. So you'll roll 3 dice, or in your case, Carlo, you'll just roll 2 because advantage and disadvantage cancel each other out.
I mean, I have a negative con.
You have a what in con?
I have a -1 to con, but it sounds like I would have a better chance in terms of just. I think in this case, Tiern would be like, just let me do it, because she would notice he seems a little physically off.
Okay, roll 3 die and give me your top 2.
So he's stopping and hacking with every second breath.
Okay, well, that's an 8.
Great. Yeah, you drag him out of the tunnel. The two of you drag each other out of the tunnel. Let me show me that scene. Tell me how it looks.
She notices that I think she didn't see you pull Braun because she was too distracted, but now she notices like, oh, you're physically not doing so hot, and starts like, kind of puts her arm around and is like, you're gonna have to help me a little bit, and then kind of starts like pushing forward a little bit, and then pushing through the rubble.
Great. Like a child being born out of the dirt. Yeah, so you get out. I'm trying to think of what a cost here would be. That would be, because I mean, you already are in a burning tunnel, and like I'm just gonna say you're really, really tired. There should be like a spot on your character sheet to mark debilities. Yeah, I think you can just say like, yeah, I want you to say, Tiern, to say that you are miserable. So you are just sick of this and you don't want to do it anymore. So you will take a point off of Constitution or Charisma should they come up.
Okay.
You will clear this up with a good night's sleep. It's not a big deal, but you're sick of this shit. Cool. So tell me how you get out of this hole, because most of you have like severe injuries.
Slowly.
Yeah, using the rope probably.
Though
Just a slow climb.
Tyrion is gonna be like, "Thank you so much, Ilsa, for holding the rope. We would be in so much trouble if no one had stayed back with the rope. You are our hero."
And Ilsa just kind of nods and doesn't say anything in response.
Tyrion is climbing up the rope as best as she can, and also, probably when she gets back up, tries to help Braun put out one arm. Also, are you poisoned?
I feel fine. I mean, other than the fact that my arm was bitten.
Your whole what arm was bitten?
You said it was my left shoulder.
Yeah, that whole side of you is starting to feel a little numb.
Yeah, it's kind of numb. I don't know if that's a good sign or not, but it doesn't hurt, so that's a positive.
When you get back up here, I got something for you.
Okay, great. So I kind of, wrap the rope around my forearm and kind of walk up while Ingrid? Ilsa? I have the wrong, I didn't write that in the notebook. I'm like, I'll remember
it's
her
fine.
name.
Most people forget her name anyway.
Oh, I feel so bad. While Ilsa and I think Dur pulls on the rope and helps me kind of abseil.
I love Dur getting involved here. So yes, but yes, Dur is pulling everyone out, helping Ilsa. So.
Yeah, pulling on the end of the rope and pulling that out. And then I think that having actual my experience of being like severely poisoned, uh, I think upon getting out of the pit, it's raised my heart rate significantly.
Mm-hmm.
And if I am poisoned, I think I just kind of drop to my knees and fall to my side as various parts of my body start to become tingly and numb and envenomed.
You fall to your knees and then fall to your side as various parts of your body become numbed and tingly and envenomed.
I don't think this is a good sign. And I kind of weakly put an arm out towards Tyrn.
Kieran grabs from her bag. I listed that she took 3 Bazours. This is a limited resource. But she is like, do you have a water sack or anything with you?
Wine.
I got water.
All right. Eat this, and she like shoves the Bazour in his face, and drink this.
Okay, now my understanding is a Bazour is a disgusting matted mass of hair and slime.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Okay, fantastic. So this goes on the list. It is it's the drink, and then the Bazour, and then the screaming baby spiders is the new 1, 2, 3. But I think that I go, what? Oh God, this is awful. What? Put my mouth, and kind of choke it down with the water.
You what you can see through your shirt of the bite is like the skin there is purpling, but it looks like it's starting to get a little bit better. So you all are in a sorry state. I'm just going to tell you this as your DM. You could get back to town from here, and you could recuperate and rest up there. You basically you all need at least a night's rest, if not a little bit longer. A night's rest would get you on your feet and have you headed back out. You can sleep out here. I don't think any of you brought tents or anything like that. But you can sleep out here. That you have a way to start a fire. You have some food, I think. So yeah, you could stay out here, particularly if you can find a way to build a little shelter as you're here. Or you could head back to town, or you can plunge on ahead. But you all need some rest time.
Well, if we rest, we're already giving them a head start. It might be best to go back to town just so we can rest properly and recoup, and then I can grab some more things for potential poisons in the future.
Yeah, and maybe we can round up some other people, and people are cooked for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's best we have to rest. We don't have a choice, and they're already far enough ahead. It's safer to rest at town, I think.
Okay. So you're going to head back to town. Go ahead.
I'm not sure. We're banged up here, but this is a lot more dangerous than I think any of us had anticipated. And if there are 2 people out there who may not have been prepared either, I don't see that we can leave them at the mercy of what it is. We're not in great shape, but we've also kind of been warned about the dangers, and we're all together now. I think it might be easier for us to press on.
And we've been stabbed by a spider, bitten by a spider, inhaled enough smoke to not be well for days. I think it takes one more of these wilderness creatures, and we're going to have more than 2 burials.
Yeah, I don't want anything to happen to these kids, but well, I mean, you just saw you can't set yourself on fire to keep others warm.
I love this.
How does spout lore work?
Spout lore works that if you have a specific question about the basically anything like to do with the world of the game or the what's going on behind the scenes, you can roll that, and I will give you information. But you will have to tell me what you're trying to spout lore on.
I'm wondering if there's been some tales of somebody that lives out in the woods that maybe we can go to their abode and rest up versus going all the way back to town.
Sure.
Mm.
Didn't say it was a good idea, guys. Just said it was an idea. What's the
It's plus intelligence.
intelligence? Okay. So that would be a 10.
Okay, great. Let me see here. I have to tell you something useful that, yeah. Okay, so I'll tell you something I will tell you something interesting, useful, and relevant about the subject of if somebody lives out here. You know what? There are so many stories around this town of a cottage that appears just when you need it. It always looks lovely. There are alternate stories. Some people say it looks really run down. Some people say it looks really lovely. Some people say there's always like a soup on the fire, like boiling away. Some people say it looks like it's been abandoned for decades. But everybody kind of describes the same thing. It's a thatched roof and stone building materials. It has cropped up in stories for as long as you've been alive, for as long as your father's been alive, for as long as anyone's been alive. People have heard about this cottage that just shows up sometimes when you most need it. Almost like if you go looking for it, you'll find it. Tell me how you know about this cottage. Like how often it.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Emily, I'm not sure if you can hear us, but to us, you have frozen.
Oh no.
Ooh, you froze real bad.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, she's back.
There you go.
Hey, where did I cut off?
Something about tell a story of the cottage.
Yes, tell a story. Tell me about how you know about this cottage.
There was a lady who came through town, and she had been out hunting in the woods nearby and had, not unlike us, suffered some pretty severe injuries and managed to find this hut that she describes as having been just what she needed at the time. It was a roof over her head. It was just somewhere to bunk down for the night before she could drag herself fully to town the next day.
Okay. Braun and Tyrion, you've had encounters with something similar to this before. Mm-hmm. Is that correct? Tell me your primary memory of this place. Oh, you all three have. Great. Cool.
Tyrion remembers that when she went in, it was very lovely and cozy and warm, but she remembered getting a distinct she should not be there.
Okay.
And she also stole something from it, so she's a little wary to go back.
Which you have with you.
Yeah.
I will remind you. Carlo, what's your chief memory of this place?
We were passing through a town, me and my band of misfits. There were about 15 of us in the good old days. And a village said that that woman in the woods was poisoning their water. And I don't remember the details, but they paid handsomely for us to take care of her.
Yeah.
I don't think she lives there anymore. And it feels like it was far away from here, but the way they describe it, it's the exact same spot.
Okay. Braun, what do you remember of this place?
Also, it was far from here, as described, and I suppose you could say that I also stole something from it, but I don't see it that way. I think that My strongest association of the memory was the mystery of this iron key that he wears on a leather thong under his shirt that didn't seem to have a box, and then being chased by a giant boar.
Okay, cool.
Also, I hand my wine, the small flask of wine that I have, the wineskin, over to Carlo and say, for your throat. This will help. Boy, I can't speak all of a sudden.
He takes a smell and he looks at you doubtful. He takes a swig. Is it anything other than wine?
No, it's wine, but it's decent wine.
I'll be the judge of that. Hold on. Gosh, I keep setting my dice aside. Yeah, I'm going to find out how good this wine is. D6. It's good wine. It's good wine. Yeah, it's not the best wine, but it's like, solid. Tasty.
Right, so he's less coughing and more just clearing his throat.
Okay, so you want to try and find this cottage? Or do you want to go back to...
Are you able to walk, Braun?
What is the effect of the Bezoar? I mean, I assume it stops me from being poisoned, but
yeah, it halts the poison, but it just kind of reverses it. So it's going to take a while for the effects to take hold. If you just rested for the next 12 hours or so, like if you got a good night's sleep, it would halt the poison in its tracks. If you need to move a bunch, the poison is going to continue to weaken you, but it won't like further poison you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Darren knows how to do the old dragging somebody on a stretcher. We've done that a few times. If you can't walk,
I think
you won't rest.
I do need to rest. We all need to rest, but I think that if we have a way forward. Look, the girls either had a destination in mind, which means that there's some place to rest there, or they're lost and alone in the woods. And either way, I feel like our best course is to press on and either find them so that we can help them back, or avail ourselves of their resting location. Either way, the best thing we're going to be able to do is to move forward, and if that's what we have to do, then I can press on.
Well, someone or something wanted us to come this way, and I thought that, well, they were just being sloppy, but they didn't come this way. So do we even have a path?
Do you think they circled back or set a trap here?
They or someone circled back.
Someone? What do you mean?
Those girls, they didn't leave town. They don't know their way around the woods. And not only did they come out here with a ladder that they specifically stole, like, they took this from the night watch. This wasn't an accident. And then how'd they get it to stretch across the gorge? That doesn't make any sense. Someone or something had a hand in helping them. Do we even have a path? He's kind of looking at you, Tyrion. None of this makes sense.
Well, I know that they tried to summon some kind of fae and that there were some runes. It didn't look like they did a great job, but I'm going to try to spout lore here.
Sounds great.
And I'm going to use an object I have for this.
Tell me what you're asking about and tell me what object you're using.
So I have books and scrolls.
Mm-hmm.
It says expend a use to consult your collection and turn a spout lore roll you just made into a 10+. So
okay.
Auto succeed.
Great.
I'm just gonna mark that I did that because I have 5 uses. So she's going to try and scout lore on the Fae and what she knows of what she saw,
Mhm.
and see how that might help what their predicament is.
Mhm. Okay. You have so I'm going to tell you how you know about the Fae, because you research the things below, correct?
Yeah.
That's your area of expertise.
Black Gates, the Black Gates and what lies beyond, and the civilizations of humanity.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So the Fae were created by. This is the legend. You don't know how true this is. This is the legend people speak of. The Fae were created by people who lived long ago called the Green Lords, who lived out here in the woods. And the Fae eventually rose up and rebelled against the Green Lords with the help of a bunch of other powerful beings, and basically banished the Green Lords down to where the things below and the basically the underworld. So the Fae have some access to that realm, which is how you've kind of gotten some additional knowledge about them. From what you saw, those girls, again, I think like we said last week, it was like a Ouija board you buy at Target in terms of like its ability to actually contact the Fae. But the degree to which this seems to have been premeditated, and the degree to which the events here are seem very confusing and suspicious, increasingly makes you think that was like a decoy. Like it was too bad, because you know a Nook pretty well, so it was too bad for it to be like that bad, basically, for it to be believably hers. So there's something more going on here, and you know how much the Fae love tricks, and that feels like maybe it's involved. Also, just, as an aside, one of the trees in the clearing wasn't here when you entered the clearing.
That's a random major detail that.
I was waiting for somebody to roll something, and like.
True.
So, I mean, Anook is smarter than this, so how bad that thing was, I genuinely. I mean, it's possible Dolores made it, and Dolores, while smart, is not great at these things. She doesn't pay attention to anything. But the Fae like to play tricks on people, and that tree wasn't there a second ago.
That's never a good sign.
Spin around and look at the tree.
Like this is a
Trees
clearing.
Don't just walk.
This is a clearing that is, surrounded by trees, but I'll tell you this, Sharon, there was not one at that precise spot when you entered the clearing. However, you don't know when. Like, you haven't looked at that precise spot for a while because you've been fighting a spider and setting tunnels on fire. So, maybe you missed, but you're pretty sure you didn't miss this detail.
Ron, I hand you your wine back.
I take a swig as well. Anyone else?
I'm going to start moving towards the tree. Very slowly.
Okay.
If there is a Fae presence here, I entreat you to speak with us.
It doesn't work. Yeah.
If anybody cares to notice, like all that fighting the spider stuff didn't do it, but now there's a bead of sweat on Carlo's head.
Ilsa, why don't you roll Defy Danger plus Wisdom?
Alrighty. That would be an 8.
Okay. So you continue walking, keeping it's like the angels in Doctor Who.
Sure.
You continue walking, like keeping your eye on this tree, but you could swear every so often it kind of undulates. Like it kind of like, but only it's because you're looking so closely at it that you recognize it. It is clearly like something. And I will tell you that you also notice if this something, went into an attack mode or something, it would be very bad. It would be very bad for the four of you, and you're not particularly well-equipped party.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to call out to him just, hello?
I'm really glad I didn't go with my first instinct.
What's your first instinct? I want to
Set
hear
on
about this.
fire?
No, I was going to throw a knife at it. But I'm sorry, I interrupted. So you call out?
Yeah. Say hello. I want you to roll a parlay, which is
Okay.
rolling plus charisma.
All right. I got a 3. XP for me.
This tree is just a tree. Why do you think you can talk to a tree?
I don't know. I don't know why I thought I could be an adventurer either, so.
Yeah, the tree doesn't say anything in response. But
Ilsar, are you okay? It's just a tree.
You're right, it's just a tree.
I look over at it and it just looks like a tree to me.
It's not just a tree. Just trees don't just show up in the middle of a clearing.
Or maybe we just didn't see which trees were where. I mean, I was being attacked by a giant spider, which I killed.
Very
Carlo
faint.
does the verbal of giving you the elbow turn. Talk to your people.
He's like, they're not my people. She kind of looks at you like, okay, sure. It's one of those just like, this is not my people. This is not what I study. Let's see if I have a good move for this, because I am well versed in certain things.
Look, I'm sure everything is perfectly fine and normal, and we just didn't see it because we had other things on our mind. And I will walk over and knock on the tree.
Oh, she was okay. I was gonna see if I could.
Yeah, I would try to hold you back, Ron. Maybe this is woman stuff.
It sounds like that's an interference roll.
Yeah, please roll interfere plus, and you'll be at disadvantage. Please roll interfere plus charisma. Actually, you know what? You don't need to be disadvantaged because your charisma is not affected by smoke inhalation. So,
all right.
Yeah.
So I rolled an 11.
Okay. So, Bron, you either do it anyway, but you have a disadvantage on your next roll, or you just change course and are like, okay, all right, fine.
So tell me what Carlo says. Like, how does Carlo talk me out of this as I'm taking steps forward, hand raised?
I try to encourage you to let Tyrion, who understands something about this, have a try first. Because you think it's a tree, and I think it's a tree. But if she can make it not be a tree...
But Ilsa knows that it's not a tree, and Tyrion is our spooky stuff expert.
You're the one who gets her spooky stuff.
That's true. That's true.
I didn't buy any of this a couple hours ago.
Okay, so I take a couple steps forward. Carlo says that, and I go, fine. Tyrion, do you have an opinion here?
Oh, there's a chance it really is just a tree, and they magically put it here. And she goes over to it, and she kind of looks around to see if there's any of the like Fey runes on it.
Fey rune's a different system.
And then she is going to write, because I have my polyglot skill and we've determined I know the Fae language.
Mm-hmm.
She is going to write in the Fae language and put it like on. She's gonna like. She doesn't want to stab the tree in case it's not a tree, but she like wants to put it on the tree or like hand it. She's like, I don't know, hand it to you, I guess. Fae are weird. Kind of like faces it at the tree and is like, can you read it? Or are you just a tree?
Nothing happens. Dur's ears perk up. And Dur like lifts his head.
I think I would like to discern some realities.
Okay. Dur goes a little woof. Like that. Yeah, discern realities.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I start talking to Dur. I don't know.
Oh no. Oh no. That's not a great roll there. Their roll is pretty bad. It's a 5. I'm getting a lot of experience.
It's really weird that you thought this tree wasn't here before, because it absolutely was here before. It's just a tree. It was here a while back, and you don't know what you were thinking.
She's kind of like, I don't know. The Fae, I know more things. I know more about death and stuff and how we built stuff than this. And she kind of puts the paper down by the tree and it's like,
go ahead, Ilsa. Go ahead.
Ilsa throws her arms up in the air, just exasperated, and just, what even is the point? And starts walking along the path back towards town.
Dur starts, like, just stands at attention, like a dog that has, like, heard something important or smelled something important, and lunges off deeper into the woods. You can grab, I'm not going to make you roll to grab his collar, or you can if you want, Garlo.
Dur doesn't have a collar.
Okay.
Oh, he has a collar. He doesn't have a leash.
Okay.
Maybe Dur found something?
Then you all hear it. You all hear singing.
I think before that happens, like when this is happening with Dur and Carlo, as Ilsa turns and leaves, I go, What do you mean? Where are you leaving? We still need your help.
I sincerely doubt that.
What do you mean?
I'm not cut out for this. I'll send some people back from town.
I think you're selling yourself short. I mean,
Ilsa.
it's been a very stressful day. We all sometimes see things that aren't the way that they appear. Any one of us could have been startled by the tree. We all had other things on our mind.
Yeah, somehow I don't feel a lot better.
Listen, let me tell you, the first time that I was in a combat type situation, I saw things around every corner for a week afterwards. I nearly soiled myself. I didn't, but I nearly soiled myself because it's a very stressful situation, and none of us wanted to planned on seeing a human-sized spider, much less fighting it or stumbling across its lair. There's nothing to be ashamed of or worried about. It doesn't mean you're not cut out to do things beyond the town. It just means you don't have the experience yet. But you'll get there.
I want to make this a parlay versus player characters, which means that you are attempting to get Ilsa to stay with the party. And so first you kind of have to ask her, is there anything you could do to convince her? And if the answer is no, then you have to let it drop. If the answer is yes, then you roll plus charisma.
Okay. In character or just ask?
Just ask. Just ask Mac.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is there anything that Bron could say that would convince Ilsa?
You don't have to. You don't have to say what. You just have to say yes or no.
I don't think so.
Okay. Then I guess just sort of sigh and watch as Ilsa walks away.
Now is when you hear the singing. There's definitely singing coming from the direction that Dur is straining toward.
Is it Tom Bombadil? Because if it's Tom Bombadil, I'm out. I'm.
It's Bomb Tombadil.
Oh right, a completely unique character.
Mhm.
TM
Yep.
TM TM.
Mhm.
Do I recognize the language they're singing in?
You can't. It's just humming. You know, it's not like it's not words. It's la la la, that sort of thing.
Is it one voice or many voices?
It's one voice.
Okay.
It's the voice of a young woman.
Listen. Is that? I turned to Tyrion. Is that a Nook?
Does it sound familiar to me at all?
It might. It's far enough away you can't quite tell. It is definitely the sound of a voice of someone around a Nook's age. It's a woman, between like 13 and 17.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'm gonna use my ice sphere.
Cool. I was hoping you would.
Well, that's a 7. So
Okay.
I get to ask a question. What about, well, obviously the singing, but okay, what about the singing isn't what it seems to be?
Okay. Yeah. So, what about the singing isn't what it seems to be? It's a Nook's voice. She is not this good of a singer. You've heard her in like school music class. But it is her voice. And it sounds far away. It's actually very close.
It's funny because I actually want to, like, a part of me wants to fail these rolls because then I get to do really cool things with this. But also success is nice. Okay. I spend an acumen to ask you
Yeah.
one question.
Yes, you can, as long as it follows from what you just asked. So,
How can I learn more about the singing?
you can go ask the person who's singing. In fact, as soon as you set foot out of this clearing, whichever direction you go in, you're going to find the source of that singing.
Well, I impart that to everybody. Yeah. So that sounds.
Point of order, Ilsa, are you close enough to hear what Tyrion is saying? Like, did the singing stop you, or did you just keep going?
You're muted.
You're muted.
I think I kept going. I think I was kind of in my own head at this point.
Okay, cool.
I,
All right.
I call after you, Ilsa, as we follow Tyrion into the bush.
Of the three of you going after Tyrion, of the two of you going after Tyrion, plus Tyrion, who's the last to leave the clearing?
I
If
think
Ilsa isn't coming, I'm not sure if I'm going.
Okay. So are you going to stay in the clearing or go back after Ilsa, or are you going to follow Braun and Tyr?
Does she respond to us going into the thicket?
I definitely turn around. What?
Carlo's gesturing frantically for
Yeah.
for Ilsa to follow.
I kind of roll my eyes and go tromping back.
Do you hear the singing now?
Yeah.
Okay. Carlo, I want to hear what inspirational words you say to Ilsa in this moment.
Whew.
I have that effect on people.
I am trying to be confidently secure and inviting her into the process. I am trying to use my charisma in a way that she feels included.
Give me just a straight charisma roll, and it's gonna like Ilsa, you're gonna have a say in this, but I want to
Mhm.
to see how good you are at.
But essentially, like, she's been through the worst. Here's the prize right over here. But keep your hand on your hammer. Eight, 9, 10.
So you are very convincing. You are very charismatic. Ilsa, what do you do with that information?
I hope it's her. And I'm going to start walking, following the rest of the group.
Carlo, are you? Go ahead.
Oh, but, still looking a little deflated.
I'll bring up the rear.
Carlo, as you exit the clearing, please roll me a plus wisdom.
3 dice? Or 2?
No, just 2.
7.
Yeah. That tree isn't there anymore. But like you're not
Fuck that tree.
you're not 100% sure it was ever there. Like you're not sure you're looking at the right spot. If you had to put money on it, you would say the tree's not there anymore, but you don't want to put money on it because you think you might have screwed it up. So
I'm starting to get spooked.
So it's like mid-March, but as you start to get closer to the singing, it starts to snow. Like snow is drifting down around you, and you come to a clearing, and the singing is very clear here. It's clear that whoever is singing is here, and you see a little white cottage with a thatched roof built out of stone. There's smoke coming out of the chimney, and the snow is really starting to come down now. And that looks like such a warm, nice little cottage to be inside.
My jaw drops a little bit. And I'm like, it is real.
Does this look like the place the other 3 of you have been?
Yes.
Yes, I think so. The season's a little weird, but no weirder than being attacked by a giant spider. I shrug my cloak tighter around me to stay warm, using its warm tag. And I start trudging. Like, how deep is the snow? Like, are we talking inches? Or are we talking?
The snow is not yet that deep. It is, it is starting to just cover the ground, so you're fine. Yeah.
I call out, and as I walk towards the house, I call out, "Hello, the house. Hello, the cottage."
There's a pause, and you hear a voice that sounds very familiar. Hello? Are
Yep.
you from? Are you? You're not one of them, are you?
It depends on who you mean of them. We come from Stonetop. Could we prevail ourselves upon your
Stonetop.
fire?
Oh, Stonetop, please, please. My name is Anouk. My friend Dolores is very badly hurt, and we need your help.
Nook, are you okay? Tyrion runs forward.
I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. Dolores got bit by a spider.
Okay, where is she?
She's inside. She's inside. She's by the table. I'm trying to I came in and I found there was some soup, and I don't know whose soup it is, but we ate some of the soup, and I'm gonna maybe I don't know. I have a carrot. I'm gonna leave them the carrot so that maybe they will make more soup with it. But we were so hungry and we were so scared, and I was so worried about Dolores, and she ate all the.
Nook, I can help her. I need to know, did you try to summon any fairies?
Any fairies? Oh, yeah, I read about something in my book. The new one I got about talking to the great beyond or whatever, but I don't think it worked. I don't think it worked.
Okay, let's hope not. Show me to Dolores.
Can we have this conversation inside? It's getting quite cold out here.
Yeah, come on, let's all go inside.
I'll go inside. There's plenty of room, even though it looks like from outside it'd be very small. There's plenty of room for all of you in here. It feels like, people who've been inside this cabin before, which I think is just
it's
my
bigger
memory
on
is
the
correct,
inside.
is just Tiern and Braun. Please roll discern realities for me, or just roll plus wisdom for me.
Oh no, that's more like it.
I believe you mean minus wisdom. 5.
Okay.
10.
Yeah, this is bigger than the last time you were here,
Oh god. Okay.
and it definitely feels like it's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. Like it has shifted to accommodate having 6 people in it. Dolores is basically passed out at a chair at the table. She's breathing shallowly.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk over to Dolores and be like, I'm really sorry. This is gonna taste really bad. Someone get me some water. Preferably one of your own pouches, not from this cottage.
Well, everything looks fine. Why? I mean, there's a pitcher right here, and it's filled with.
Give her the wine.
All right, Dolores is old enough for wine.
Takes the she's just like, just don't eat or drink or just don't touch anything. She puts the bazaar in her mouth and kind of puts some of the wine, and then basically tries to get Dolores to eat the bazaar. I have 1 left. Oh no, did Emily freeze?
I'm here.
Oh.
Sorry, I'm checking end of session rules because I was going to try and get you back to Stonetop so we could advance the seasons. But yeah, I think probably we're going to have to hang out here. We're probably going to have to call it at this point, which is fine. That's great.
And a fine place too, he said, warming his hands over the fire and looking around this stone cottage.
A perfect place to be.
I encourage Ilsa to keep her hammer handy, and I'm peeking out the windows, looking for this witch to come back.
Yeah, it's just it's a very pleasant, snowy, late afternoon. I don't know what you're so worried about. It's
There's
very
magical
nice.
snow. I've been here before.
We live on the top of a mountain. Sometimes there's late spring snow.
I'm not talking about it. I'm just kind of looking out all the windows, observing the perimeter.
Yeah, there's ways I could get you back to town, but I'm not going to force them on you. I am interested to see what happens next time when we come back and see y'all in this cabin with Dolores and Anouk. We are at the end of the session, so each of you, if you will give an example of how you fulfilled the requirement of your drive, and then if everyone around the table agrees, you will mark XP. So let's start with you, Carlo.
I have kept my promise to an NPC.
Okay. Who is that and how?
To the mayor said we needed to bring this girl back.
Okay. All right. You have found the girl. Everybody sort of agree that that works?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Perfect. Cool. Ron, what's your drive and how did you, yeah?
My drive is conscience, which is to forgo comfort or advantage to do the right thing. And I feel that this entire experience of tracking down the missing girls would fulfill that requirement.
Makes sense to me. Everybody else?
Yeah.
Cool. Tieran, how about you?
I very curiously took spider venom when I should not have.
I'm just going to give you that one, honestly. Just going to be like, yep, perfect. And Ilsa?
So my drive is sacrifice, and it's suffer or endure hardship so someone else does not need to do so. I think the closest I got to that would be that I held the rope.
It's okay. It's okay. There will be other times.
Yeah.
But you didn't want to hold the rope.
No, I didn't, but I did it because somebody had to.
Is that sacrifice?
I think it's very thin.
If you want to say it's sacrifice and everyone else says it's sacrifice, I'll go with it. But I agree, it's very thin.
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't we continue with you then, Ilsa? Tell us how your opinion of or relationship with another character, either PC or NPC, has changed this session. And then if everyone agrees, mark XP.
My opinion of Carlo changed.
Okay.
He brought me in on this, or was part of bringing me in on this task, and then kind of pushed me to the sidelines. So I think she's wary of him now.
Okay. Cool. Everyone sort of agree that makes sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Perfect. Tieran, what's a relationship of yours that's changed?
I don't know, because maybe Carlo, maybe she's like, she likes Carlo a little more than before, because he always seemed a little weird around her, but then he came back to help her, and I think that makes her like, oh, you don't think I'm just a crazy witch lady. Like, maybe you do actually care about my existence in this town.
That makes sense. Makes sense to everybody else?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mark XP. Okay. Braun.
I don't think that my relationship changed with anyone else, really. I think that he feels the same about everybody that he did before. There's a little bit of... I don't think that he knows exactly how to take Ilsa's... and I don't mean this like pejoratively, but like giving up and deciding that she's gonna just, oh, this isn't for me, it's not working out. But I don't think it's changed the relationship yet. I think it's just a little something to think on. So I don't think I'm gonna mark XP on this one.
Okay. Carlo, what's a relationship that's changed?
I had started with I have my doubts and am nervous around Tyrion,
Mm-hmm.
but she is actually useful and helpful, and so in a very tact turn and practical way, she has moved up a notch in my book.
Cool. And then finally, we answer these questions as a group. I'm Mark XP, Carlo. We answer these questions as a group, and for each yes, everyone marks XP. A couple of these are going to be no, I just assure you. But first, did we learn something about the wider world or its history?
I think we certainly did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody mark XP on that. Did we overcome a threat to Stonetop or the greater region? You did kill the spider. I'm going to give you that one. That spider's dead. Did we improve our standing or influence with our neighbors? Remains to be seen.
Yeah, TBD.
Did we make some lasting improvements to Stonetop or tangible progress towards doing so? I don't think quite yet. If you return the girls, yes. But so far, you have yet to return them. Cool. So everybody mark 2 XP off that. And remember, you get to level up when we go back to town. So next session. All right.
Awesome.
So let's say good night, everybody. And let's start with you, Nick. What's your deal and what's up with you?
Good night, everybody. Oh, wait. My name is Nick Levy, and you can catch me on the socials at Sungrowler. I'm currently just on this show, but I hope you tune in and watch us in 2 weeks when we return for another episode of Stonetop. And we love you all, so please join us in this new year.
Yes. Let's go to you, Mac.
Hey guys, I am and will continue to be Mac Beauvais. You can find me on the socials as @StrangeLikeThat, the Twitter, Instagrams, and Facebooks. You can also find me over at 12-Sided Stories, where we do a highly produced podcast with sound effects and all kinds of fun stuff. And I'm actually running the second season of Unquiet Blood, a game of Vampire 5e. So now's a good time to go ahead and catch up on the first season.
Perfect. Mo.
My name is Mo. Happy New Year. You can find me at AshleyFeet1 on Twitter, AshleyFeet.com. I'm developer of Shibuyan Nights, the action-packed Forge in the Dark RPG.
Awesome. And finally, Blythe.
Yes, I have been Blythe. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, all under BlytheColin93. On Saturdays, you can find me GMing Star Wars Silence in the Force on It's Probably Okay. That's twitch.tv/It's Probably Okay. You can find our VODs on Probably Okay Games on YouTube. We took a little bit of a break because we couldn't have a full table, so we decided to play some masks. So there's some really fun masks episodes that we did that may or may not be super gay. They're super fun.
Masks? Super gay? What?
I know, it's so shocking, but there may be a polyamorous couple coming out of it. It's very cute.
Okay. Yeah. Great.
Yeah, I think that's everything I am doing right now. But follow me on the Twitters and the Twitches, on the Twitters and the Instagrams, and for more updates.
And I am Emily Vanderwerf. The only thing I'm doing right now is this game every other Monday. We will see you again on the 18th when we will find out what happens in that cabin. You can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/EmilyVDW. And my work is all over the internet. I link to it on Twitter. And my fiction podcast, Arden, recently completed its second season. Literally, we posted our finale on New Year's Eve. So it's all there for you to binge listen if you please. And that is the end of tonight's session. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back on January 18th for our next session. If you want to catch up on the past episodes, go to happyjacks.org/Stonetop. If you want to find all of the other actual plays on the Happy Jacks Network, visit happyjacks.org/shows. Until then, we will see you next time. Happy New Year, everybody. It was great fun tonight.
Bye.
Bye.